Hey, one thing before we get to the next question, I meant to ask you earlier. You grew up in Ohio, then you lived in the SEC in Florida. You saw LSU and you saw Alabama and Auburn and Florida, even places like South Carolina and Mississippi State, and almost all of them have kind of an electric atmosphere when you go on the road. What was your first impression of being back in the Big Ten and maybe the similarities or differences between the SEC and the Big Ten as far as energy and atmosphere?
Well, I think the night games, people are going to get tired of me saying that because I guess there's some tradition about not having many in the Big Ten. And I love tradition, but I love recruiting better. And recruiting is really important in the game of football, college football, like really important.
Yeah.
And like more important than anything else. You get my point?
I got it.
So the electric atmospheres that we experienced in Penn State, that was, I don't want to use the term SEC-ish, but that was as good as there is.
Yeah.
And my wife's into those atmospheres, and I don't ask her, what do you think? What do you think? And she has great, because she, listens to it a little bit more than I do.
Yeah.
But our atmosphere in Nebraska was as good as I've ever been around. There were others that were okay, but we don't have time to be okay. There's not much time. Every time you have an okay, you're not being great. And so, so you're going to see, we're fighting for some things to make that. I want it to be as much respect as I have for the traditionalists. I want that 18-year-old to walk out of that stadium and go, whoa, I got to be there. I don't want to have to get up at 4 in the morning every time and drive to come to our games so I think we're going to push a little bit for that. And once again, you can fight and say, well, we want to do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Recruiting. And then you know what's the most important thing after recruiting? Recruiting.
Right. I got that.
That's true. You get it?
Yeah, I get that. Look, I want to ask you though.
Wisconsin was a great one.
In defense of the fans, the shitty non-conference games. I'm telling you, not just Ohio State. It's hard for me as a fan to give a crap about.
First of all, you're not a fan.
No, I'm not. I am a fan, but red ties on Saturday. There you go. Because I wear a yellow tie.
So I think we should get out there. Who wants to get out there, Kirk, a little bit?
No, I'm curious. I mean, when you schedule,
You're right.
You didn't. But when Ohio State schedules Youngstown State, it's nothing against the Penguins. I have a good friend that played for Youngstown State. It's nothing against them. But what's your feeling on scheduling non-conference games, especially with a selection committee that's going to look and evaluate, and a difference maker for them might be, oh, that's right, they played Texas, or they played Virginia Tech, or they played Oklahoma. What's your overall feeling, not just based on who you already have scheduled, but moving forward?
Well, I think you have to play a national power every year, and then you have to play a mediocre, I always say you have to play a top 15, then you have to play a 30 to 40, and then you have to play a smaller team before you get ready for your season opener. That's kind of the philosophy that I've lived.
So like one heavyweight, one big,
one top tenner,
and then a like a 20, Missouri type of.
I don't use those terms.
But I'm not.
Like a 20 to 40. 25 to, when I say 25 to 40, the rankings.
Yeah.
You see them there, and that's the medium of the road, and then you have to read,
an
80. You have an 80 in there.
Yeah.
As you get ready to play, because you have to get your young players ready to play.
Sure.
You can't our goal, to answer your question, would be to win the Big Ten, to go play in a championship game, and if we're blessed, go play for the Crystal Ball. It's not. We're not trying to have the hardest schedule, in the country, but we want to play smart. And with what you just said too, people are going to be picking you to get in that playoff thing. Yeah. You have to have a good, I guess, RPI type thing. So we've addressed. I know Gene Smith is. I've not got my hands involved in scheduling at all because I don't want to deal with. I have enough issues.
Yeah, plenty, I'm sure. Here's a big one for you. Here's a big one for you. When it comes to just looking at a program and kind of just trying to, as you said, kind of take it to the next level and things like that, what's your overall philosophy on trying to take, you have the SEC, you have the Big Ten, and the Big Ten right now is kind of down. It's been very public and I think misrepresented, to be honest, that you said, hey, I'm challenging everybody I'm going to teach them how to recruit. Can you tell people what you were trying to do when people misrepresented? You and I haven't even talked about this, but I'm assuming you didn't go to Mark D'Antonio and say, come here, let me show you how to recruit players. How did that go down?
Well, what happens is, for some reason, that people have to sell newspapers.
Right.
So you'll do an interview and they'll say, Coach, the SEC had 12 teams in the top 25, Big Ten had 2 or 3. What do you think? Well, we have to work a little harder and get a little better. And the Big Ten, I think I said, has to push the envelope and be a little more aggressive.
Right.
And some knucklehead takes that and says, headline says, I've challenged. Of course I'm not going to do that.
Of course not.
So the answer is I'm not going to do very more interviews.
Right. Smart.
Why? Do we need more exposure? I'm being serious. So why some clown's going to get a hold of something and start creating stories that was, read the quotes. I was never said I'm going to go challenge coaches. But, I mean, you can see what's happened in the game of football. There's a great conference right now. We all know that. That's the way it is. Change it. Don't do this. Go change it. How do you do that? Play some more night games.
Right.
Every once in a while in November, you might have to play a night game. Go recruit your tail off. Get fast.
Right.
And go win a game.
Right.
That's the only way to do it. I don't know any other way.
Right.
This is not the way to do it.
No.
So, and we're doing our best. I like where we're headed right now. I like our staff. I like our strength staff. You come in with Woody Hayes, it's business. Right. You come in and watch a practice. I hope you walk away and say, "Now that was incredible."
Getting after it.
Yeah.
Do you get along with all the fellows there in the Big Ten? I assume you do.
Yeah, great. I really do. I really do. There's.
They tried to blow that whole thing up that Bill was not there, but even that was misrepresented.
Nothing.
You guys were
nothing.
I know.
Yeah, it's once again, it's people that you have to sell papers. They're not easy to sell. Saying, boy, the coaches really get along, they do a good job, and the graduation rates are high, and they're trying really hard. No one's buying that.
Yeah.
I call it the Howard Stern approach.
Yeah, shock it up.
Shock it up.
Yeah. Who else? Who's up?
We're back here on the left. Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about Kenny Guyton and what he means to the team?
Yeah, I sure can. It's a special guy. I know everybody in here. I've talked to a few fans, and they feel they have a special place in their heart for Kenny Guyton. They should. I call him the old right-hander. He comes out of the bullpen and give him one of these. And Kenny Guyton is going to be a football coach. I'm going to hopefully hire him someday. That's how much I really respect that kid. He's wonderful. His dad's a football coach. He's a kid that we call competitive excellence, that there's 2 ways to get yourself ready for a game, and there's one's game reps, and that means the starting quarterback gets the game rep. The backup quarterback gets the mental rep. And the mental rep doesn't mean over there drinking water, screwing around. So you'll see it anytime you watch our practice, if you get a chance to, Kenny Guyton is standing 10 yards behind Braxton Miller taking a snap. And, he's actually, there's no ball and no one else, but he's back there going through the reads and doing that. And our team doesn't understand that. Our players, I would always point that out, and I just rip our coaches and after the Purdue game, now you ought to see all these kids. So we'll have the 1s versus 1s or 1s versus 2s, and behind them, you'll see their player getting that rep. It's called a mental rep. And so there's only one way to get ready to go play that game. And Kenny Guyton, that was not good fortune. He didn't have a special T-shirt on.
Was he always like that when you inherited him?
No. He was.
Like
Tom Herman did a good job.
We did.
The quarterback has to, because I'm standing right there and I make him stand right next to me. And we're now all the positions are doing that. And you can see the kids growing with the way we expect them to practice.
Very cool though, because Kenny Guyton came here with like any guy who's sitting over there, thinking he's going to be a 2, 3, 4-year starter, and when he all of a sudden he's realizing here comes a young guy that's really talented, he's behind him. It's easy for guys to get upset. They either transfer, they get selfish, they get disgruntled.
Yeah, he's got a very coach mentality. His dad, I don't know his dad very well. I can't wait to meet him, because there's nothing better. I have 2 lovely girls. When someone comes up and compliments your kid, I can't wait to shake his dad. I'm going to see him this spring and say how good your son, what a great person your son is, to just be an ultimate team player. And it wasn't by, I keep going back now, there's winning and losing is fragile, but it's not by accident. When a team wins, it's not, boy, that ball bounced their way. No, it did not. The kid worked his tail off to get himself ready for that situation.
Yeah, and you've proved that in that game.
We've got Brutus in the back right over there.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach Meyer. Emily Williams, Dublin, Ohio. Yeah. Hopefully we won't have to punt at all this year. But
probably won't.
But in the event...
Of course not.
In the event that we do, I know we had a recruit fall through there at the last minute. What's the punting situation looking like?
Oh, that's... we will punt, by the way. Our punting situation is Drew Basil is going to be our starting punter. Frank Eptropoulos is going to get a shot as well. We didn't use him much. He had a hamstring issue a year ago, but he's a talented guy. And other than that, we're struggling. But Drew Basil is a very capable punter. We started working with him last year, and he's a war horse. He's a guy that the minute that all happened, I can talk about it because recruiting's over. These 3 kids jump in. We have a scholarship issue. We lost 3 scholarships for 1 more year after this, and we were going to try to get a guy to walk on and all this, and then some other school comes in and offers a full scholarship, and we lose them. So it wasn't like just at the end we lost a guy. We knew that might be a problem. So Drew Basil will be the #1 punter starting in spring.
How many scholarships will you have, you think, next year?
82.
Well, I mean, it's the recruit, what would you guess, like estimate?
Well, I don't know if you leave early for the pros, but I'd say 20 or in the 20 range.
To low 20s?
Up here in the balcony on the far left, far left, right here. How you doing, Coach? Kurt?
Hey.
Jeff Blahnik. I'm from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. A group of Buckeyes stuck in Pennsylvania. A whole bunch of us actually over there. Question as a coach, and also you, Kurt, with the upcoming playoff system that they have in play, we keep hearing about they want to have bowl games in the South, out West. Are they, or as a coach, would you not like to have some of the playoffs up our area? We have domes that we don't have to travel, no matter what. Buckeye fans will travel anywhere. They fill the stands. But if we could save a little money also traveling ourselves, we could give more to maybe cancer. So what's your feelings on that, traveling, going down to SEC where they play home games for bowl games?
They've been playing the bowl games in the South and out West since, I think, the early 1900s. And I personally feel like it's an excuse for the Big Ten, who's right now probably as mediocre a conference as they've been maybe in the history of their conference, to blame it on traveling to the South or out West, me personally. I think that's a cop-out. I think when you win, you don't hear that excuse. So I think you just got to get better. You got to get better, and you got to go travel. I do think you're going to see, when we get to a playoff, you're going to see that you're going to have the semifinal games will be bowl games. Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl. These other bowls will be involved, Fiesta Bowl, Orange Bowl. The championship game will be bidded out to the biggest city or the stadium that bids the biggest money. And the first city, I don't think it's been announced, maybe it has, but it's probably going to be Dallas at Jerry Jones Stadium. So this year's the Rose Bowl, and then you'll have the national championship in Pasadena. And then the following year, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl will be semifinal games. And then the next week will be a national championship game, more than likely again in Dallas. That doesn't mean that eventually Indianapolis or Detroit maybe could be involved. It's just going to come down to the bidding and the money and who's willing to give that money. But as a Big Ten guy, I think it's BS to say that, gee whiz, why don't we play the bowl games up in Green Bay where it's cold? We've never done that. So why do we want to say that now? Because we're losing. So to me, let's figure out a way to win. South, North, East, West, wherever. Your thoughts there, Ben?
Probably, I haven't really given it much thought. Like I said, I've tried to not worry about what we can't control, so I don't care. I just hope we go.
You want to play anywhere?
Go play really hard and fast.
Fast. Fast is good.